Hey, it's Kyle from Backcountry Adventure Motorsports, and today I'm going to be doing an install review on some Camel ADV products that I recently put on the bike. In this video, I'll show you what I did, some of the problems that I had. That way, when you go to install yours, you'll know what to look out for. Alright, so the first Camel ADV product that I added on was this Windshield Support Bracket. Now with the Honda Africa Twin, there's been some issues with the windshield where it vibrates when you have a GPS or a phone up here off-road, and it's ended up breaking some of the welds on where the windshield bracket attaches to the frame. What this bracket does is it actually makes a three-point contact where you have it tied in down here as well as here with the weld up front, and it makes kind of a triangular effect. It's extremely strong, and you could add whatever you wanted to up here and it's not going to move. Now some of the issues that I had with it, one, my windshield mount was already kind of bent, so it took me a little bit of straightening it out gently so I wouldn't break any of the welds, so I could put this on here. Now, if you've watched the video of Corey doing the install, one of the reasons I didn't do a video was because I couldn't have done it any better. I mean, he hits all the points, and there's nothing in that video that I would have done different. So, but I will say, when you getting the bolts here in the bottom, it is kind of a pain, even when you remove the rubber donuts from the headlights. I used a magnet eventually, and that actually helped a lot to be able to grab the screw and get it in from the backside, or the bolt to get it in from the backside. One thing that I should have done that I didn't do and it caused me an extra step was I put the bracket on before putting the headlight donuts back on, and what that did was I had to work around this bracket, so it took a lot of work to be able to get those donuts back on. If I wouldn't have put the bracket on first and put the donuts on and then put the bracket on, it wouldn't have been a problem at all. So just make sure whenever you install this that you put your headlight O-rings on before you mount the bracket up. Other than that, it was actually a really straightforward install. In reality, it only took me about 25 to 30 minutes to put this whole thing on. I didn't even have to remove the windshield to get it on. I have this Batson windshield bracket. I just lowered it down and put it on that way. It was, again, a really easy install. So also to just make sure if your frame is kind of bent, that you be gentle whenever you move it back, because the last thing you want to do is break a weld trying to bend your bracket back like mine was. Other than that, I think it's going to be rock solid. I'm really happy with it the way it is so far. My phone doesn't vibrate near as much as it used to, and I'm getting ready to add a couple more things to this nav tower area. So I'm happy about this install. Okay, so the other thing I added on was the Camel ADV right foot peg support bracket. It's the plus version, so it kind of covers the exhaust a little bit better. For $20 more, you might as well do that one because you get a little bit more protection. But now what this does is it ties in the foot peg, and it's a known problem with the Africa Twin where people are low siding the bike, or they're coming down hard with an upward force and they're actually shearing this bracket off. It's crazy that is as weak as it is, but Corey from Camel ADV has had that issue, and I've heard of other people having the issue as well. So this bracket ties into the frame on the underside here. You drill a hole in. It's actually a really easy install. The only hard part about it, I will say, and it's not even that hard, it's just takes a little bit of time, is removing the exhaust, and you have to remove the skid plate. So remove the skid plate, remove the exhaust. It opens all this up and allows you to put it on. Again, it took me maybe 35 to 45 minutes to get it all done. I did run into a couple issues. I've got the Black Dog foot pegs, and I ended up having to be able to have this work. They were kind of squared on the bottom, so I ended up having to cut and grind that out to be able to have it fit on there, as well as pivot. So that was really the only main issue that I had, and it just took me a long time to kind of get it all lined up because these pegs are so fat and bulky at the bottom. You know, one product can't cover everything out there, so I had to modify my peg just a little bit to make it work. I think, again, I'm going to be extremely happy with this. I was kicking it once I had it all on there and everything to see how solid it was, and this thing doesn't budge. It's tied into the frame, as I said, both to the frame on the back side here and then through the foot peg. So I think any upward force or shearing force that way is definitely going to keep that foot peg in place. So you can see right here where I've already beat the crap out of the foot peg attachment. So getting this thing on here, I think, is going to save me in the long run. And you can also see kind of where I shaved this foot peg off. Now I was watching Woodsman Adventures, if you watch him on YouTube, and he had to actually cut his skid plate because it was squared here. For whatever reason, my AltRider skid plate is already notched or beveled. So I didn't have to do that. That worked out really well. So take a look at your skid plate if you have an AltRider skid plate and see if you're going to have to cut yours or not, or any other skid plate, because this does come back pretty far. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing the install. And again, this is aluminum. It would I'm assuming it would cut fairly easy, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so those are the two Camel ADV products that I've installed so far, and I think I'm going to be really happy with them. I know they put a lot of time into making sure what they're putting out there is good quality stuff, and so far the fit and finish is great, and I don't have any complaints whatsoever. So I hope, you know, if you're planning on installing any of these products, then this video helps you out as far as, you know, wanting to know what you might have to change on your bike to make everything work. But other than that, I look forward to getting the Camel ADV, the fuel tank, the auxiliary fuel tank. That's going to be my next thing that I add on here, so that'll give me some extra mileage. Again, if you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments and feel free to fire away. I'm sure I may have missed something, and I'll get that answered for you as quick and as easy as I can. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. So this is Kyle from Backcountry Adventure Motorsports. Thanks for watching.